Welcome back to the Soft Tissue Revolution podcast, version 2.0, where we teach manual therapists a new treatment system that will allow you to cut your treatment times by at least 50%, and in most situations, all the way up to 75%, so you can stay healthy, avoid the dreaded burnout, and help more people get out of pain so they can stay the hell away from pain pills, injections, or surgeries, which only make things worse. My name is Dr. Matt Maggio. Thank you so much for stopping by and checking out the show. Let's get right into it. Simplicity scales. Solve one problem with one skill set. You know, there's that old adage of keep it simple, stupid. And a lot of us as manual therapists try to overcomplicate things. We want to do a million different types of treatments. We want to treat everything in the body, head, shoulders, knees, and toes, and everything around there. And it puts us in a bad spot. You know, I talk about this idea all the time of shiny object syndrome, and I've been just as guilty of it over the years, as I'm sure a lot of you listening are as well, where I always want to take a new course, a new training, this brand new thing that's going to be great. And I'm taking all these different courses. I think it's going to change everything. It's going to be a game changer. And it's just another, I guess, certificate that I would add to my wall. I call it my ego wall of all the things that I do, all the tools that I have. And it really just kind of waters down what you do, and you never know what's really working. You try a bunch of stuff, you go take the seminar, you're like, this is going to be the best thing ever. You come back, you do it for about 2 weeks, you realize you're not getting the results that you need. Then you're on to the next thing. You're the junkie, on to the next thing. Got to find the next seminar, the next thing, you know, always be learning, always be trying to get better at what you do. And we all do it. I did it for so many years. So one thing we want to look at is, what is the purpose of a business? You know, most people think it's to make money, which is very important. Yeah, you should make money. And if you're struggling and you're barely getting by, or say you're having to work 4 other part-time jobs just to keep it on, like, you don't got a business, you just got a job, and nobody wants a job. That's not why we got into this. We want to be self-sustained, but make good money. And it's very important. But the most important part of a business is solving problems. And when you can solve problems that other people can't, the money will come. I know I sound like a broken record. I say it all the time, but if you truly want to make a difference, not worry about money, you got to focus on solution-based treatments, not service. And you got to find a way to stand out. Talk about this idea of like comparison syndrome, and people compare you and you get stuck in the commodity trap of like, oh, well, so-and-so down the street charges this. I'm going to charge $5 more because I'm better than them. It doesn't fucking matter. The $5, the $10, the $15. You have to learn to compete on 2 things: speed and actually fixing the problem. So many of us out there, and so many of you that are struggling, you know, people reach out to me all the time, is you're what I call a jack of all trades, master of none. You want to be able to treat everything, the entire body. And honestly, the full body treatment is a myth. Sure, it's all connected. I get it. People say to me all the time, hey, I got to treat the whole body. It's all connected. Yeah, I get it. It's fucking all connected. But you have to start more locally and then look globally. Sure, there might be some imbalance in the hip that cause some compensations in the neck, but you still have to fix the problem in the neck first and then work your way out. So people say to me all the time, they're like, oh, well, you just treat neck, shoulder, and sciatica. What about everything else? Like, your clients can't get any real results. Listen, asshole, they can, because we actually start by working locally and then going globally. Yeah, eventually I'm going to work those areas, but I'm going to start where the problem is in the first place, because you have to clean up that dysfunction. And then there's this weak ass thinking as well, that if you don't do everything and everything, I said everything and anything, sorry about that you'll miss out on a potential client. Yeah, you're going to miss out. That's that whole like scarcity mindset instead of abundance. You're like, well, if I become a neck or shoulder specialist, what if low back calls? I don't want to turn that business away. It's like, nah, fuck it. You don't need to do that, because there's so many other people around you that have that specific problem that you're solving that don't even know you exist. And they're spending money on all these different specialists that ain't doing jack shit. They don't even know that you exist. So I learned a lot of this just from watching orthopedic surgeons. You know, they're specialists. They do one thing and they do it very well. They get paid accordingly, and they have a waiting list. And they aren't doing everything. They're not doing head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Instead, they have full focus on one area. The craziest part is their treatment modalities come with a lot of risks and problems, yet people still get those procedures done. Yeah, there's a lot of risks involved in surgery. You could die, get an infection, it couldn't work. You could be paralyzed, all sorts of stuff. You couldn't wake up from anesthesia. But they're still doing that because people trust them because they are a specialist and they want to go to an expert, not some jack of all trades. The beauty of us as soft tissue providers is our treatments are not only effective, they're long lasting, and they're about as safe as they come. There's a really good book that I read. I talked about this a couple months back. It was written by an orthopedic surgeon. I forgot who the author was, but basically the idea, it's called Back to Normal. And he basically talked about he did all these surgeries for so long on people's backs and their discs and all that kind of stuff and had really poor outcomes. And what he realized was the most important part was actually addressing the soft tissue component and the inflammation. He didn't understand. He was saying, go to physical therapy. Those fuckers ain't good at anything with their hands. It's you as manual therapists that get in there and actually do that. These are what people need, and this is where they need to go because you're going to be able to solve the problem. I got to get a quick sip of water because I'm talking too fast. So it is my firm belief, like set this in stone, that if you focus solely on providing a solution to one specific problem and do that and only that, you can easily clear, and I'm saying clear, $150,000 per year with less than 20 hours of time of hands-on treatment per week. Yeah, $150K clear. That's after expenses with less than 20 hours of hands-on treatment per week. You're probably like, oh, that could never work for me, blah, blah, blah. That's all your limiting beliefs, all the nonsense you tell yourself. That's exactly what we teach in our immersive training programs, and you can always reach out to learn more only after you've gone through our free training and see if you can even have what it takes to be a true solutions provider. So how would you go about, implementing this and becoming more of that one focus, one thing? Number one is I want you to be very specific about what you want to work on. I'm talking something like, hey, just be the carpal tunnel person, maybe just shoulder impingement, maybe plantar fasciitis, maybe sciatica, etc. If you're afraid of being that specific, then at least start off with what I say, like, hey, you're a neck specialist, you're a shoulder specialist, low back specialist, hip specialist. And then number two is I want you to take all the treatments that you do, all those ones in your toolbox, in your tool belt. And based off what I see on social media from everybody out there, you got like a million goddamn things that you're doing. You're all over the place. There's someone that I follow on social media. They're like, every 3 weeks, it's like, this is the new shit. This is going to be groundbreaking. I'm going to take it to the next level. Then they're at another course. Like, man, you ain't good at shit. You're just good at taking courses, and that ain't getting you nowhere. And what I want you to do is instead pick 2 of those treatment modalities that work the best and produce the best results. And if you can't answer that question and you think you need to keep learning more, instead, focus sharpening the tools that you already have instead of trying to add more that don't work. Oh, yeah, I'm going strong on this one today. Number 3 is change your identity and how you market and you introduce yourself. No more of this like, oh, I'm a massage therapist and da-da-da-da. It's like, no, here's what I do. I am a soft tissue injury treatment specialist with a focus on whatever, neck pain, shoulder pain, da-da-da-da. That's what you do. You're a soft tissue injury treatment specialist, and this is what I focus on. People are going to take you seriously. They're going to see that you're an expert. They're going to see that you're a true specialist, not some bullshit generalist. If you're like, oh, I'm a massage therapist, you're like, oh, I got some tension in here. You want to like rub on it? Fuck that. Like, don't let people talk to you like that. Own your shit. I am a soft tissue injury treatment specialist. Yeah. Yeah, and say it with some fire just like that. Next thing, say no to anyone that doesn't fit your specialty. And don't be tempted to take on someone that doesn't fall into that category. That's when you get stuck in that bullshit scarcity mindset. Next thing, learn everything, and I mean everything you can about the area you are specializing in. You know, if you're going to be the shoulder person, the neck person, low back, sciatica, whatever, learn everything you can do about that. And a big thing that I do all the time is I watch anatomy dissections all the time on YouTube. And probably my algorithms probably looks like I'm like some type of serial killer, but that really helps to go in and watch those like gross anatomy dissections and really understand that area and where you're at, and getting so damn good at that you're just the expert in what you do. Next thing, and the last thing, is just stop being like everyone else. Don't be like everyone else. You know, comparison is the thief of all joys. Like, quit trying to like look like everyone else in your area. If they ain't fixing shit, don't worry about it. Don't be like them. They're just providing service. They're making decent money, but they're really just going through the motions, and you need to solve problems. Don't provide services, solve problems. Don't be relaxation, be fucking therapeutic and fix problems. Do it faster. Do it better than anyone else out there. That's when the price doesn't matter. That's when you make that $150K with less than 20 hours a week, and you get taken seriously. You're not like taking a back seat to the chiros that don't do shit, to the physical therapists that don't do anything. And you're keeping people away from pain pills, injections, and surgeries, which really fuck people's lives up. So brought some fire today. If you like the show, share it with others in your network that it can help. Also, you can go in and download our free training modules. That goes into a lot. I put a lot of time and effort into that, and I do say that they're better than any paid course you'll take out there. And when you download them, hey, actually go through them and see them all the way through, because you're going to learn a lot of cool shit, and you're going to learn how to be that true solutions provider. And then lastly, reach out to see if any of our CU courses or immersive courses can really help you, but only after you've gone through the free training modules. We get people that reach out all the time. We're like, hey, did you go through the free training modules? They're like, no. It's like, go through that shit first, because honestly, don't waste our time or your time unless you're willing to do that. And lastly, just go out there and be fucking great this week. Be someone that actually solves problems, because at the end of the day, the world needs your solutions, but they don't even know you exist. I appreciate you guys listening, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye. Thanks so much for listening. If you want help on the path to being able to double your income, all while working 50% less and being taken seriously as a healthcare provider, I have some great resources for you. Number 1, get access to our free training modules and introduction to my system, the Peak Method. Number 2, subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Soft Tissue Revolution. Links to all of this can be found in the show notes. Lastly, if you like the show, please leave us a 5-star review and share it with others that you know it could help.